Well, good morning, Kentuckiana. It is 6 o'clock on your Black Friday morning. Thanks for joining us here on WHAS11 and WHAS11 Plus. I'm Jim Stratman. Grace has the morning off, but meteorologist Matt Breland is in house with us. And Matt, it's great that you're in here because it is too cold to be outside, in my professional opinion, today.
Exactly, yeah. Don't send me outside today for sure, especially with these types of temperatures that we're waking up to this morning. We're starting our day off in those upper 20s right now across Jefferson County. 28 degrees there in downtown, 26 in Bowman Field, 26 Valley Station, and as we head later on into the day, we're not going to see much of an increase. Those temperatures continuing to stay in the lower 20s for us, 23 in Bedford, 25 in Elizabethtown, 24 for you folks in Hodgenville. Temperatures are feeling like the upper teens for a few of us as well when you factor in some of those occasional winds. Feeling like 15 degrees there in LaGrange, so definitely the chill in the air for us this morning. Satellite and radar continuing to stay quiet and dry as we go later on into the morning. We are going to continue seeing sunny conditions, but certainly some chilly temperatures. We're still expected to stay in the upper 20s for the next upcoming morning hours. As we head later on into the afternoon, we'll see those temperatures make their way just into the freezing mark, and then highs today expected to reach at least the upper 30s. Now later into the evening, just after sunset, the 20s are back with us. Those northwest winds are going to keep us chilly throughout the nighttime hours. And then we're starting tomorrow morning off with temperatures in the 20s and also the arrival of some clouds that will be associated with our next system that's going to bring in a bit of a wintry mix, some possible brief snow showers, and also some cold rain showers that will be around as we head into early Sunday morning. More details all about that forecast coming up here in a few short minutes. Here's an update on traffic this morning. As of right now, everything's looking good to go across all of our major interstates and roadways into and out of the Louisville Metro. If we have any slow spots, we'll let you know. Jim?
Matt, thank you very much. We are following some breaking news this morning. A house fire damaged a home in the south end of Louisville. You're taking a look at some of the pictures that our photojournalist Paul Landers captured this morning down from the scene. At around 2:40, LFD responded to the report of the house fire in the 7200 block of Alameda Court. Firefighters arrived and put it out. They were still there when Paul left a little bit earlier this morning. We are working to learn what might have caused this fire, how extensive the damage is, and whether or not anybody was hurt. We'll get that information to you as soon as we know it. Now we turn to a tragic update out of our nation's capital. One of the two National Guard members who was shot earlier this week has now died. U.S. Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom died while her fellow Guard member remains in critical condition. The suspect is in custody as well. Here's ABC's Christian Cordero with the latest from Washington.
Today, a West Virginia family and the military community mourn the loss of 20-year-old U.S. Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom. Her father, Gary, writing on social media, quote, "My baby girl has passed to glory," calling it a horrible tragedy. Beckstrom and fellow Guardsman 24-year-old Andrew Wolf were patrolling outside a busy metro station near the White House on Wednesday when investigators say a gunman ambushed them. Wolf remains in critical condition. White House officials say President Trump spoke with Beckstrom's parents last night. On a call with military members, the president expressed his anguish before blaming the Biden administration for the suspect's immigration status.
The suspect is an Afghan national flown here by the previous administration, who was such a bad administration.
Officials identified the suspect as a 29-year-old Afghan national who arrived in the U.S. through a military-allied resettlement program in 2021 during the Biden administration. He applied for asylum in 2024 and was granted it in April of this year under the Trump administration, according to law enforcement sources. A senior U.S. official tells ABC News the suspect was vetted and that, quote, "nothing came up." Officials say the suspect was also shot and is still in the hospital in custody. In West Virginia, a vigil brings mourners together as its governor vows for accountability.
We need to have a comprehensive investigation, and ultimately that investigation needs to lead to justice.
Christian Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
In a social media post this morning, President Trump vowed to end federal benefits and subsidies for non-citizens and to ban entry for all immigrants from select countries only specifying with the quote, third world countries. And just in the last 24 hours, the Trump administration says that it will be launching a sweeping review of some legal immigration records. The director of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services said the agency will re-examine every green card given to immigrants from 19 different countries. When asked for additional details, federal officials pointed to a June statement that named countries across Africa, the Middle East, the Caribbean, and parts of Asia. The Department of Homeland Security says that it is now reviewing all asylum cases approved under the Biden administration. Following Wednesday's shooting, President Trump asked for another 500 National Guard troops to come to the nation's capital. And that request comes as the current deployment of National Guard troops is subject to 2 lawsuits. A federal judge ruled last week that President Trump exceeded his authority by bringing out-of-state members of the Guard to Washington, D.C. That decision is on hold pending an appeal. Meanwhile, a West Virginia judge ruled earlier this month that the state's governor does have the authority to deploy his state Guard members to D.C. Right now, the Trump administration is asking for an appeals court for an emergency stay of last week's order to remove National Guard members from the nation's capital. Indiana State Police say that they've arrested a man they believe shot and killed someone early in the morning's hours of Thanksgiving. Police are charging 22-year-old Philip James Hawkins with reckless homicide. Around 1:30 Thursday morning, the Washington County Sheriff's Department responded to reports of a shooting. Officers found a man, Juan Gutierrez, unresponsive with a gunshot wound. Gutierrez later died at the hospital in Salem. Hawkins is being held at the Washington County Jail. Less than 12 hours ago, a stabbing in the Highview neighborhood sent 2 men to the hospital, and police say this morning charges are pending. Around 7:30 last night, LMPD officers responded to reports of a stabbing off of Pennsylvania Run Road. They found a man who was stabbed after a verbal altercation with another man escalated. The LMPD says that the 2 knew each other. The victim was taken to the hospital and is expected to survive. That second man also had injuries. He was taken to University Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police said that all parties are accounted for in this case. A golf legend and Southern Indiana native has passed away. Fuzzy Zoeller died yesterday at the age of 74. Zoeller hailed from New Albany, played his collegiate golf at the University of Houston, and turned pro in 1973. Zoeller had won 10 PGA Tour events during his time as a pro and made history at Augusta National when he won the Masters on his very first try. Zoeller is the last player to ever accomplish that feat. Fuzzy Zoeller is survived by his grandchildren and his children. Well, if you've been looking for a used car, truck, or maybe even a boat, LMPD might have you covered. The police officers said in a social media post that they're working with Auctions ASAP to auction around 130 unclaimed vehicles that are at the LMPD impound lot. Some vehicles are going for only $1. Some don't even have a bid on them at all. But be careful, though. The department does not know the condition of some of these vehicles, and they have not tested them. So many of them may not even have keys. The auction closes this Sunday at 7 p.m. You can go to our website to see which vehicles are up for auction. The Christmas season officially begins today, and Paristown is kicking it off with their annual Fête de Noël this weekend. The Christmas celebration features ice skating, a holiday market, the Kroger Fresh Express for kids, and of course meetups with Santa Claus himself. New this year, you can come out and meet the very rare Valaeus black-nosed sheep who come all the way from the United Kingdom to celebrate the holidays with us here in Louisville. Fête de Noël runs Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from now through Christmas Eve down at Paristown.